Without any further ado, we are now going to roll on, keep this movie train going. Good analogy, huh, guys? You cinemaniacs, get ready for your third film. It's A Day in the Life of a Boy by Niklas Bauer. Enjoy. Very nice. Folks, we are lucky enough again to have Niklas, the filmmaker, with us. And please join me in welcoming him to your screen all the way from Frankfurt. There you are. Hello, Niklas. You're live with us from Frankfurt. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Good to have you here. So we're gonna I think we got a few questions from the audience, and we're gonna start off by saying, okay, so true grit is the theme of this show. We feel that in this film, there is a lot of pain and daily struggle for all the characters, obviously. A lot of struggle. But who do you think, in your opinion, has the most true grit? Would you say it's the boy, Millie, or the mother?
That's a good question. I would think the daughter Millie is the one with the most grit, because she is the one to pull through her struggles with her brother and kind of get to the other side to help him, even though she feels rejected and unrecognized. So I think she has the most to struggle with and the most to overcome in the end. And I mean, the mother is just stressed the whole way through, and she can't really handle the situation as she would need to in this moment in time.
She's just kind of surviving. Yeah, so I agree with you. So I said, when we were talking about it, I said Millie as well, because you really do see a strong character arc with her. And it's quite touching. And Arafili said the mother, which we can call her up now and ask her why she would say that. Arafili, you want to come up here? Come up and join us? I think she's just taking down one last comment. Interesting. So you're in the flat now that it was shot in, you were saying. That's very exciting.
Exactly. It's a friend's flat, and we were really lucky that she gave it to us, and we could paint all the walls and change everything that came in once, and we're like, what is happening? Because one room was full of their furniture, and we brought our own and changed everything up. And now I'm in that flat again because we always meet on Monday evenings.
Yeah. And so you really went out of your way to change the colors in the atmosphere for your film of the
That's
flat.
The life of the filmmaker.
Is it?
That's what happens. You change the house. You try to be careful with other people's personal belongings.
You try to be careful, yeah. That's the correct phrase. You try to be, but then in the end, stuff happens.
You destroyed it. You smashed it.
Was it their bird?
Oh no, it was a bird we lent from, or borrowed is the word. We borrowed it from a store and gave it back afterwards.
Have they seen the film?
They knew what was going to happen, but they've never seen the film. Nice. We just said we quickly need to kill it, and then we bring it.
We'll bring it right back. That's very funny. Arafili.
So, I don't know, I haven't been very good collecting the questions, but I can tell you that there are a lot of compliments and people love this film. They think it's a very sensitive and visually stunning film. A lot of people say that it's difficult to watch, but it's worth the while. And we have a question from Andrew Carslow. Sorry, Andrew, I'm murdering your name. Who says, I have two autistic daughters, and parts of this film really resonate with reality. And if this is based on a true experience, if you have any true experience dealing with autistic people.
So most of the film is mostly research. Like I was really interested in autism for a long time, since 2016, and I started researching a lot. And the only, like, most of the bits that I think feel authentic are by people who I met with autism who told me about their lives. So I actually have not had like, not in my family or anywhere really close, but it was so many stories that I just combined and mixed them with my own experience in a way of being like a really close child to myself, and like I resonated with some of their stories very much. Like I did resonate with a lot of their stories, so I just took a lot of those stories and combined them with my own experience.
That's interesting.
That's an amazing process.
That's amazing process.
That's a real testament to your, to you really getting inside and your sensitivity.
To get inside to somebody else's perspective and character, because that's what the film is all about, isn't it?
Exactly.
I was reading in your director's statement that it's your question that you're raising is if we can really understand another person's point of view ever, and how.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that also when I was making the film, it was always like, okay, I try to understand, like hearing these stories about like a detailed perception of the world, but what would that mean for me and what would it mean for them? And I tried to really understand by talking to a couple of autistic people in my city, and all of them just explained different things. And I was like, it's really interesting how all of them are common, but yet they're so different. So I tried to kind of visualize a different perception without really wanting to say this is the one perception. It's just like the perception of this specific boy. Yeah.
That's interesting. So Ashley Eakin, that is the director of the first film, I don't know if you watched it, just says that it's such a beautiful film and it has a beautiful cinematography. And I would like to connect it with a question I had, which is, you are weaving in and out of these three perspectives in the film, of the boy, of the sister, and of the mother, which is quite complex for a short form film. And we thought, a lot of us, that part of it is that you are using your visual means very wisely. It has an amazing cinematography. But in general, where you choose to put the camera and all of that. Can you just comment on your process? Or
yeah, so interesting, because like it was a really long process finding, like, first with the cinematography we had we actually just tried to make it two perspectives, but realized that we couldn't. We wanted to be just with Millie and Dan for the whole duration of the film, but at some point we just had to change that to make it work with like the reaction of the mother, because sometimes children are so consumed in their own perception that they wouldn't really realize what's happening with their mother. And so that is when these three perspectives were created. And then the bit was in editing, that it was a long process of finding like when to switch and how to stay long enough in one perception without like destroying the whole narrative of the film. Like if you stay in Dan's perception for too long, you don't get the overall context. If you don't get into long enough, you don't get what his perception actually is. Like it feels disconnected if you just would have like one detailed shot of something, and you would be like, okay, this is a POV, but it falls out of the whole context again. So it was a long finding process of finding these specific spots where we could go into a different perspective without the audience basically switching off and thinking, what is this? So,
well, good job. Very complex job.
Very delicate procedure by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Nicholas, that's all we got time for. Unfortunately, we could talk about this longer.
Yeah, and apologies if I didn't get all of your questions. My laptop just got stuck.
But yeah, thanks again,
No worries.
Erfili, for coming through. Thank you, Nicholas, for talking to us.
Thank you.
Excellent work. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, wicked, very nice. And I'm gonna leave you now. Big round of applause. Here, there you go.